Welcome to the HEX Lake Show. It is 43 OG here with you on a Tuesday night in Melbourne. Now, we've got a ripper of a show for you tonight. I've got Blue Bum in the back. I've got Sammy Chicker in the back. I've got, Jexa, he was in the back, but he looks like he's disappeared. Oh, no, he's back. He's back. And yeah, we've got a few clips. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the HEX ecosystem. And we'll also answer questions on HEX. So if you're relatively new to HEX and you've got questions that you want answered about how the HEX contract works, please feel free to put those questions in the chat and we'll do our best to address them throughout the stream. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the crew. Hey, Bluey.
How you going,
Sammy?
Hey, how's going? Hey, everybody.
Jexa.
Hey guys, how you going? I got to say, mate,
Good.
hats off for the new intro. That was thumping, wasn't it? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it looked brilliant, man.
You've
Well
been
done.
busy.
Yeah.
Did you like
Yeah, the Richard Hart in the
The
corner.
thumbnail.
no, nothing in the corner? Yeah,
Nice
bit
one.
of fun.
and the thumbnails are cracker this week. You've outdone yourself, mate.
There we go, mate. There we go. Busy.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to this week? We've had quite the pump this week in HEX, haven't we?
Yeah, that has been pretty impressive to watch. And I think I put a little in our private chat. I put a little bit of TA and said, "Come on, good thing you can do it." And then boom, pop straight up and hit that first target up around about the 18 cent sort of mark, 18, 19 cent sort of market pushed up to. Yeah, a little bit of a rest now, but I think that's just taking a bit of a breather. Nice retest. I think we might see some good things to come.
I hope so. I sincerely hope so. It's done. I mean, it's amazing. It's done a 50% jump in the matter of a few days. I'm going to say a big shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys are why we come back every week because we love seeing what you guys have to say in there. So shout out to everyone in the chat. You know who you are, the regulars, and even a big shout out to the newbies, the people who haven't been in the chat before, haven't come to see our stream before. We're the HEX Late Show, and we talk about all things related to HEX, the HEX ecosystem. And if you've got questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. Yeah.
Just out of interest, if there is someone watching for the first time tonight, just type in the chat box. Let us know that it's your first time visiting us. It'd be interesting to see whether we're seeing new people come through because we can adjust the content to cater for that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all again. Love you guys. Appreciate your support, not just on here, on Twitter, everywhere, guys. And girls.
That's it. Now, speaking of the girls, Sammy, you had quite a live stream on the weekend with all the ladies, with many of the ladies of HEX, and also Richard Hart.
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing stream. Things did get a little bit wild. The girls sort of roll like that, but I think the thing was we all had questions. We tried to get as many on as we could. We had so many girls wanting to get on and meet Rich. It was ridiculous. So we tried to do the best we could to get everyone on, and those girls was like so appreciative. Like it really made not just their day, probably their year. So they really appreciated that. But the thing is, we didn't really have time to ask them the questions that we want. I'd had some questions from Tangent that we went through, some other crypto questions that we really didn't get to. Plus, I've met Richard before. I got to stream with him and ask him a whole heap of stuff. So I felt like I wanted to give everyone else a turn. So, it was still a lot of fun, tiring, but, and Richard's still chill as hell, still a gentleman, and it was really good to see him, and hopefully we'll have him on next year again.
Awesome. It was fantastic.
So is it an annual thing? Is that what it is? You've done it more than that.
Yeah, well, we had him last year and on the April, because we only had the last Friday of every month, or Saturday for us here in Australia, but we do the last Friday of every month. And he came on last year in April. And then me and Serena had tried to reach out to him on Telegram, but he didn't answer both of us. So we thought, well, he's not coming. And then CZ reached out to him on Twitter and said, can you come on for my birthday? And he said, yes. So it was really good timing. And he came on, and he always loves coming on with the girls. You know, he gets a kick out of it.
Can I ask what did I hear correctly? What did CZ offer? What was CZ offering?
So
Did I hear that correctly?
CZ, I send out my love to her because she's a really, really nice lady. Not only nice, but she's beautiful looking, and just friendly, great personality, wild. So yeah, she was a bit emotional, and she started drinking probably a bit too early because they're Friday night over there. So she'd already had a couple. Gets on stream, and she was thanking Richard Hart. She was just saying, thank you so much for my family. I did hear her break up a little bit and get a bit emotional, but then she tried, I think, to turn it around and turn it into a joke because she had some funny questions for Richard. And she said something like, so whose dick am I going to have to suck to get some of these coins, right? And we just like, do you say that to Richard Hart? But anyway, we laughed it off, and like she was like pretty toasted. And then we had to kick her off. She offered, should I go off? I said, yeah, because we got people waiting. And she went off, and then she was forever saying, can I come back? Can I come back? And I was saying, wait, we've got to give everyone a turn. And then I get a message from her today, and she goes, why did you let me come back? I said, you just got the link and came in. I had no control over it. But everyone that's watching, guys, us at Discourse Syndicate, we like to be kind, not just to our viewers, but all the people on stream. And CZ has got a bit of, it goes both ways. People love it, people hate it. But, if you could show some support for her, she's one of my friends, and it takes a lot of courage to speak to Richard. And yeah, I just think that, sending out good vibes and love and peace to everyone, especially the women in the HEX community, because,
it was fun. It was a lot of fun, Sammy. I mean, no one has to apologize for anything.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Like it was fun. It was a hoot.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think
everyone should just chill, and it was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
If there's one thing that's evident from watching this stream is we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly.
Exactly. We all do weird and wacky things. It's all a bit of fun. Got to laugh at yourself.
That's right. On. Exactly. So Absolutely. Yeah, it was good. Good.
So I actually have a clip from the stream, so I'll just play it. So let me see if I can get this up. There we go.
There's a certain number of paths of behavior, and a larger set of behavioral paths cause you to lose everything, and a smaller set of behavioral paths causes you to thrive. And if you come to this idea of coins exist and they go up in value, so fuck it, I'll throw darts at a wall, in general, you just lose all your money. And so it's important for people to understand that from a qualitative perspective, you will lose all your fucking money unless you do shit right. You will lose all your fucking money. You have to do shit very right. What does very right look like? Don't fucking trade. Do not enter your seed words onto a weird website. Any website. Do not connect to DAPP is evil DAPP. Like, if someone airdrops you some shit, be real careful that they're not trying to get you to do something bad for you. If someone direct messages you, scam. They're scamming you. Whoever the fuck direct messages you, scamming you.
So what I took out of that clip was, and I notice this a lot, is Richard spends an inordinate amount of time trying to save his community from making silly mistakes. He just repeats this stuff like over and over again. And I mean, there's no other reason for him to do it apart from genuinely wanting us not to make mistakes. So props to him for always just continually drumming that into us, because we need to hear it. We do need to hear it, because sometimes we get a bit too eager to claim an airdrop, or a bit too eager to participate in whatever, when we should be remembering that a lot of the time in crypto, people are just trying to scam you.
Yeah, I think as we move into PulseChain, we're going to see a lot of. Well, we're already seeing there's a list as long as my arm of projects that are launching, and it gets hard to be across all of these things. So just because you see it in a Pulse chat room or something like that, do your research still. Just because it's coming from our community doesn't mean it's always on the up and up. You've got to still put the time in like you would any other project, or what you should be doing on any other project. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be first. Okay, so you don't have to be first across the line. Sometimes it's good to let other people be the guinea pigs if they so want to. Sit back and relax, and when things are fine and you realize it's okay, then go in cautiously still.
Yeah, for sure. And Richard's always been like that. If you look at his earlier videos, he is the guy yelling out, "It's going to be a scam. This is people. Listen, this is a scam. This is what's to be careful of." And yet he brings out a crypto, and everyone's scam. Like.
I mean, the thing is like the group of people who are into HEX at the moment are the people who are willing to step out on a branch and take a few risks with new things and to try new things. And so they are people who probably risk the opposite of averse.
So a higher risk tolerance.
Yeah.
But I would qualify that by saying they're pretty well educated users. On the most part, most of the people in our community are pretty well educated.
Definitely getting there. I mean, I feel like it's been getting a higher education degree or master's or something like that since I've been in for the last 2 years, for sure.
And the reason why that is, or why that's come about, is we play purely in the DeFi world. We're not using exchanges where they're very simple and you don't have to understand what's going on. You've got to have a certain level of technical competence to be able to just buy HEX in the first place, just to get to that point where you can actually buy it on Uniswap or wherever you're getting it from. That puts your streets ahead anyway. But now anyone that's played on test nets, they've done things like bridging across networks. They've playing with farms and pools and all this weird and wacky stuff that, to be honest, most people wouldn't even, they'd think you're speaking another language if you even tried to tell them what you were talking about. It's even people that are in crypto, so they've gone to an exchange, brought some Bitcoin or something. Even talking to this stuff about talking to this kind of thing to them, they still don't understand a lot of those concepts and things that we as a community have had to embrace.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to experiment and get to do all of this sort of stuff and to be on top of it all and everything like that. And you just got to temper it with not rushing in too fast. That's, and just taking your time with stuff, I suppose. And, making sure you don't get scammed.
And what we have to bear in mind is that with this PulseChain launch, there is a tidal wave of scams coming our way, an absolute tidal wave. Like everyone needs to be, like everybody in the HEX Pulse community, PulseX community, everyone in this community needs to be aware of what's coming. So many projects are going to be there to scam you. So we need to be vigilant. We need to be super, super careful about, what happens when this chain launches. We know which ones we know the ones that we can trust, right? We know that we can trust HEX, right? We know that we can trust the HEX contract. We've been, watching the HEX contract for many, many months now, years. PulseChain itself is a fork of Ethereum, and we trust Ethereum, right? So we know that we can trust. We know that we can trust that. PulseX, the exchange, the DeFi exchange, is a fork of a fork.
Uniswap.
Uniswap.
It's Uniswap under the hood. Yeah.
Is it Pancake Swap or Sushi Swap? That's a fork of.
It's both the same, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and these are all audited. It's all audited code, so they're just forks of audited code. So there are things that we know from the get-go that we can like have a very, very high degree of faith in.
Can I say it? Can I say it? Audited out the yin yang.
Audited out the yin yang. There you go. Audited out the yin yang. But like in even though I say this, right, and we know what we know about HEX and Pulse and what it is and what it isn't. I want you guys just to have a look at this and tell me what you think. Now, this is just something that I found randomly on Twitter.
Comments are cooking a little bit here. Anybody heard of the PulseChain?
Shout out to everybody in the comments real quick. We appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, for sure.
I have heard of the PulseChain. I'm kind of confused.
Stay away. Stay away. It's connected to HEX.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Have you
People
guys
love HEX. People love HEX, man.
Oh, God. Have you guys seen what it does? It just, like, makes copies of all your ERC tokens. So, like, it just recreates your NFTs on their
It's
own
like the
blockchain.
right click save of blockchains.
Yeah,
Seems
it
a
really,
little sketchy.
it really is.
Let's see.
Yeah. So what? I mean, look, this is like a perfect example of like quite uneducated crypto users who are just repeating something they've seen in a headline somewhere, and not really understanding what they're talking about. It's like the perfect example. These guys are completely ignorant about the HEX contract and completely ignorant about what PulseChain actually is.
True.
Or why PulseChain has been born into existence. They don't understand the reason behind it, or what it's going to do for them anyway. If they seem like they were into the NFTs, I've seen a bit of an NFT banner up in the back of on their wall there. So do they see that as a threat because their NFT is getting duplicated? Well, they probably don't understand is it's going to make the thing they love easier to move and trade and create, and
it's going to be easier for artists to mint on the PulseChain. It's but look, I don't even know who they are. Just that's a clip off Twitter, but it would be interesting to find out who these guys are, and after PulseChain launches, see if they eventually get into it or not. But look, that's sort of what we're dealing with out there. That's the sort of plebbery that we're dealing with,
That's the crypto space in general. I mean, I've been here since 2017, and when I found Richard, and like compared to his knowledge and attitude, there's no one comes close. There's so many just real absolute tools, and it attracts scammy people and losers who preach the word about a lot they don't know a lot about. It's very sad.
There's a few things we can have a chat about. I noticed there's quite a few good questions coming up in chat as well, which we should go back and collect and answer.
Let me go find that one.
While you were having a little bit of a look through that, it was also interesting to see what happened on Phantom Chain over the past week as well. Have you been paying attention what's going on there?
No, what's happened?
Is Phantom a chain or
FTM? FTM. So they had a bit of an exploit on, I think it's called Deuce. It's like a lending protocol, is my understanding.
Sorry, what's it called?
Deuce. I think. Deuce. And
I love it. They did it to themselves. Come on.
Yeah, and it actually caused they had a series of cascading liquidations, and it has literally tanked the price of FTM and
Oof.
put the whole chain in a bit of turmoil. Go bring up their chart. Actually, I'll bring up their chart in a minute. We'll have a
And
look.
also, I think Solana had another
Yeah.
has
Was it
been
like
down again.
Mhm.
Oh, Jesus, really? Was
Yeah,
it like
it's
an
like
Aave? It's like an
every other
Aave thing,
week.
Deuce, or
I'm not sure if it's an Aave fork or anything like that. I've got to be honest, I'm a bit sketchy on what the protocol is and where it's. Yeah, but I know that it caused a whole bunch of grief on the
Wow.
chain.
I can't believe they called their what does it do? What does this protocol do?
I'll have to bring it up for you in a second. Give me a second.
They called it Juice.
Deuce, as in an ace, because that's a
Unless
deuce,
I'm saying it
DEUS.
wrong, but
As in
DEUS,
Deuce.
Deuce, as in two.
Well, Deuce also.
As in number 2.
Yeah.
I thought a deuce was an ace in cards.
No, that's a 2, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it a 2? Is it?
Oh man.
Yeah.
They did it to themselves. Can't believe it. Someone
Deus
needs to
is
get
like
fired.
God
Someone
as
on the
well.
marketing team who came up with that name needs to get fired.
Well, that's Sam Bankman-Fried. He's pretty massive in the whole
Tim
space.
Tom's like.
I think there's a whole series of things
test.
because who was the other guy that come up with Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, or whatever. Can't play
Yoni.
Wi-Fi. Oh yeah.
Yoni,
Andre.
Yeah, that's Andre. Yeah. So he actually departed. He threw in the towel, and I think there's just been a whole raft of shit going on that chain. But they went from.
Right.
They've gone from. Oh, hang on, I've got to go out even further.
Like a hexagon quote. Solana had their monthly scheduled downtime.
So in the course of 100 days, it's gone down 76%, which doesn't seem terrible. I mean, all cryptos do that sort of stuff, but this has been a pretty violent move down. Like there's been hardcore reasons why it's been happening. Yeah. So it's not just a normal pullback.
Yeah, Jack, is that the one that you wanted up? I'm putting it up.
Well, this ties into this situation. Now, I don't know the specifics of Deuce and exactly how it was triggered. I know there was an exploit where someone pushed the price of around on a pairing, and then that caused the liquidation event. That's what was initially said. The team came out and said, it was a bit more than that. I haven't gone into all the technical detail, but it comes back around to, well, what is it safe to pair? What is it safe to lend against? And what it boils down to is the liquidity pools. So if you use a chain's native asset, you've got a better chance of that being able to withstand manipulation. So you imagine on a DEX, it's paired with lots of different tokens. It's probably on centralized exchanges. So it's spread around and there's deep liquidity for that particular native coin. So if someone wanted to manipulate the price, they would have to manipulate the price across multiple exchanges for a good length of time. So if you pick an asset that is less liquid or is on a smaller range of pools on a DEX, and someone comes along with a big bag and can manipulate the price, or finds an exploit where they can do like an infinite print or something like that and drain the liquidity, that's when you end up in serious problems, because that causes all those cascading liquidations. So if you need an asset that's spread far and wide and has deep liquidity pools and can absorb arbitrage opportunities. So if someone does something on one particular exchange, then it can be arbed between the exchanges and things like that. And it also goes back to where you're pulling your price feeds and things like that from, which is one. I think that was one of the issues that this Deuce platform had, is where they were pulling their price feeds from. So yeah, just pays to be very, very careful. I'm not sure.
Do you want to have a go with this question, Jexa?
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, yep.
Now,
yep.
So with PulseX, it comes down to how deep are your liquidity pools, who can push it around, how spread around an asset is, and if it's only trading on one exchange, and that is the place where the price feeds are being pulled from, because that's the only place it is, and someone can manipulate it on that exchange for any length of time, then you've it's not a great position to be in. Now, I think on the Deuce one, that was a flash loan, is my understanding, that was able to push the price down on.
So this comes back to the bigger question for me. It's like, why do you need these loans which are completely collateralized? Like for me, it's like from the traditional world, I can understand a loan like, okay, I don't have the money for a house, but I have a job and I know that I can earn money every month and I can pay off a loan. And so I take out a loan of stuff that I don't have in order to get something, and then I pay it off over time. But
they get the title of what
but with all these... Yeah, I know. But basically that's the system, you know what I mean? But with these crypto loans, you've already got the money. And so you're just basically like loaning more money to what? To like essentially like speculate? That's pretty much it, isn't it?
How do wealthy people build portfolios? They leverage against assets they already own.
So
but you don't need to, you know, like
there's no but that's what they do.
As the value of your asset goes up, right, in terms of dollars, you can either sell it, and that's a taxable event,
or sell a little bit.
You can sell a little bit, still a taxable event. Sell a little bit,
sure.
Or
you can
use
loan
this.
again. I understand that.
And
it's just
the
so
question.
It's just so, with these 70% dips and all these all this stuff, all these shenanigans, it just seems to me like such an unnecessary risk to take, you know, like, and it's kind of like, how wealthy do you want to be as well? I don't know, like.
I agree.
So let's say HEX goes up, and I'm just using HEX as an example. HEX goes up another 1000x, and you've got the option to park some of it somewhere and take a little bit of profit without touching the thing that keeps generating you more income. That's not a bad thing to do. Do you think Elon Musk went and sold something to buy Twitter?
Or you just sell a little bit of it and just keep going, you know? I don't know. I suppose it comes down to...
Everyone's got to do their own... They've got to make their own decisions.
Yeah, sure.
But wealthy people get wealthy by not selling the assets they have.
Yeah, but I agree with Bluey. I mean, particularly, I don't like being in debt to anyone or anything. And secondly, I don't like the fact that it's even though maybe slim, even that I could get liquidated. So that's two reasons for why
everyone's got to find... We were talking about risk tolerances a moment ago. Everyone's got to find their risk tolerance and make their decisions on what they choose to do. If you had you've probably got a little bit there sitting in HEX, Sammy. If you had a way of not having to sell that thing that's productive, but be able to live off it, you wouldn't be interested in that.
Oh, maybe if I had that much money, but I want my money to work for me. That's what I want.
Bingo. That's exactly right. You want your money to work for you.
Without risk losing it, you know. Basically.
You know what?
There's no such thing as working without risk.
Yeah. Look, there's no such thing. Even if you have money in the bank, there's risk in having money in the bank because it's getting inflated away.
Yeah, I know, but the less risk. Okay, I'll rephrase it. The less risk, the better.
Yeah. You know, I can see your point, but I think that people also just kind of rationalize it away as basically a way of doing more high risk speculation and gambling. Like if you're really you can do it in a responsible way potentially, in small ways, but like I think a lot of people probably just like flash loans and things like that. Like that's just trying to kind of like.
Oh no, that's a different animal. Flash loans are a different animal. That's you've got to be very knowledgeable. That's developers doing that sort of stuff. Like they know the
It's not
intricacies
really
of a
accessible
system.
to us. Yeah.
That's next level.
Well,
man.
it is
That's sort
accessible
of,
to us, isn't it? It's like Aave and all of that kind of stuff. Like you actually, that's where,
but
and that's
that's not
where
a
I
flash
kind of think
loan.
it's just, isn't it? I thought that's what Aave was.
No. A flash loan is
Flash loan
is a loan that's taken and
within-
paid back in the same block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you can do that through Aave. That's what I read because I started reading a bit about Aave because there was that fork of Aave on Pulse, and I just
Okay.
thought I never really understood. I never really understood what Aave was. Like I kind of vaguely understood it, and so I decided just to look into it a bit more. And I'm just like, why is everyone so interested in this? This is like nothing. This is just like some trickery. Like I didn't see the great value in it, I guess.
Bluey, from my perspective, I mean, and just for clarity, Jexa is a part of the liquid loans team. So, I mean, that's important that that's put out there. I am not on the liquid loans team, but I think that the whole point, what's going on, Tangent?
Tangent, what's up?
Yo.
I was just making a point about liquid loans that I think that, I mean, do we want to, I mean, ultimately, we've got this system which everyone here agrees, everyone on this stream agrees that the system we have has got many points of failure. And what I think we're all trying to do here is try and replace some of those things in that system with trustless
You mean
stuff.
the legacy? You mean
the
the
legacy system with trustless stuff. Now, there's always the argument that you can make with something like a liquid loans that, okay, well, I can point to this and that where there has to be an oracle or whatever, and you can have a problem with that. And that's fair enough. But I guess from my perspective, it's a step closer to what we want. That's what I see. I see us getting we're getting closer. We're getting closer and closer now. With taking a loan, when you're buying a house, the bank, the third party gets the title until you pay it back completely, and then you can have it back. In this instance, with something like liquid loans, for example, it's your asset, but you're doing it just like for example, you're the one who's interacting with the contract. So that's a step closer in my mind because you're cutting out that.
You have ultimate control over what's going on, to be honest. Like you set your own risk profile and parameters based on how you want to play the game in the DeFi world, where a lot of that in general, where a lot of that in the legacy world is taken out of your hands, and that's the old rule. The golden rule is he who has the money makes the rules. So when you go into a bank, you got to play by their rules. Like you've got to jump through their hurdles. You've got to do their things, their terms. At least in the DeFi space, we get to choose what level of risk we want, what returns or rates or whatever it is, whatever it may be, that we get to choose how we want to play the game. And I would much rather have those options available than not.
And it's building. It's building on stuff that was there before. And we're just, I mean, this is the way I see it. I'm hoping that everything keeps getting better. In a few years' time, there might be another contract that's not liquid loans that's better than liquid loans, and it might be from the liquid loans team. But you know what I mean? Like things we want things to get better. We want more trustless stuff. We want more options out there that replace legacy stuff. That's what I would
suggest. Yeah. The thing I would suggest to anyone playing in DeFi, whether it's being a liquidity provider, using liquid loans, or using one of the other projects that are launching, is don't just tear into it. Like dip your toe, learn how things work, learn the risks involved, and before you go putting anything substantial into these things, actually play with them. Everyone's been messing around with on testnet with liquidity providing, and I hope if you've never done liquidity providing and you haven't been on testnet to mess around and try it, you should be doing it, because that's when you'll understand the risks involved and whether the rewards meet the risk for you. So now's the time to do all that sort of stuff.
How good is PulseChain?
Yo, just real quick, can I do proper hellos? Because when I went to put my headphones on, I didn't realize there was music playing on my computer, and I just got absolutely blasted. So like I couldn't even hear who was saying hello to me. Hi, Sammy. Hi, Bluey.
Hey,
hi, Jexa.
sweetie.
Hi, 43. Check out me trying to be like Richard Hart, yo.
Let's have a full screen, mate. Let's have a full screen of that.
What's up? What's up now, Richard? Guess what I'm going to be wearing for the debate? No. I'm like, dog, I got all the same shit as you. Mine's just fake.
Hey, Tangent, you did a stream with one of the guys in the chat this week.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome stream, by the way. We had
we got so many compliments about that stream. People are just massive, instant fans of my friend Dozzo. Like, yeah, they thought the conversation was tight.
Yeah, it was.
This was on your channel, Tangent?
On my channel, yep.
All right.
It's really good stream.
It's actually the last stream I did, I think, or did I maybe do one after that? I think it's either my most recent or my second most recent stream. If anyone hasn't already seen it.
Was that your virgin appearance on stream?
Yeah. He said it was actually. He said it was the first time he streamed.
Cool.
Which was surprising.
Hope to see you do a lot more.
He came in virtual green screen setup. Audio was fine. Like had headphones. Like and then also apologizing that his stream setup might not be as like tight as people have been streaming for ages. And he but just came in like with everything sweet, like everything completely adequate for streaming, you know.
Hey Tangent, I love
Sammy.
I love that picture on Twitter with you and Ruby the kangaroo. That was adorable.
Yeah, so that kangaroo is actually like an unofficial pet of my friends. Like, so that obviously the kangaroo is free to come and go as it pleases. Like, it's not trapped on that property, but it just loves hanging around there, and so it's practically always at that property. Yeah. So I think I might have actually had a photo with it once before as well. Same kangaroo.
Beautiful.
Obviously, that one's small enough to not be dangerous for international viewers. When previously on Twitter, when we've been talking about how kangaroos will just like start like kicking you in the head and shit if you're near them, it's only really the adult ones that you need to be scared of. Like this one could still do damage, scratch the shit out of you, but not like, you know, you'd survive. Unlike HEX haters.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Richard Hart comment about how he said paper straws suck, and what was his comment? Like he said something about how like his haters would be able to like fuck the paper straws.
That'd be a Richard comment.
Hey,
hey, Tangent, do you want to pop your channel link in the chat? A few people have asked for it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll grab it.
Yep. I just popped it up a second ago on the screen.
I might have missed it.
So I have to admit, this is actually the longest I've ever gone between Richard Hart being in a stream and me not watching it. But for various reasons, embarrassingly, I have not seen the ladies' discourse yet that had Richard on it.
Haven't you?
I have not seen it. It's on my list. So was there some kind of controversy? If you've already covered it, don't repeat. But
yeah, I won't repeat it. You watch it yourself.
Okay. I'll scroll back to the start of this stream, and I will watch. I obviously will watch the actual main stream as well.
Yeah, he came for 3 hours, and he goes, I'm hungry, and
3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours.
What a dog.
Yeah, and then he goes, I'm really hungry, so I'm going to go and eat a packet of ham. That's when he took off.
Mango.
As you know.
All right, you know, I'm told that.
Was that a euphemism or what?
Well, I'm told that Cardano holders can't eat ham because they got so wrecked that they now live in the house of their girlfriend's boyfriends. And their girlfriend's boyfriends, because they're not really that thrilled about them having to crash on the couch at their house, they don't let them eat ham and they don't let them use the Wi-Fi. So they can't even check to see how wrecked they are. They know they're wrecked, but they just can't even check on day to day to see how wrecked their
Oh
bags
my
are, and they
God.
can't eat any ham. So Richard really is living the dream of a multi-billionaire founder of a coin that does actually allow you to eat ham. You know, so that's good to see.
Awesome. But Tangent, I didn't get to ask the questions that you know how you helped me with some questions. Like
oh yeah, so you didn't get them?
We had that many women lined up to get on,
just thrashing him.
I just had to get them all on. I didn't like me and Serena maybe asked 3 questions each max. Like,
oh, so you would so you were rotating guests?
Yeah,
like,
we're just rotating,
as
and then
well.
they were all like blah 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 blah. You could not get a word in.
Fangirling.
So that was sort of what sucked about it.
No,
But
yeah, that's
anyway.
cool. Like I said, I was only just kind of brainstorming the sorts of things that I would like to ask him myself if I had that opportunity. Yeah,
sure.
Mango Junkie wrote in the comments he said, don't watch it. Do not watch it. But I can't not. It's like it's Richard Hart content. I can't not watch it.
You can't not watch it.
I can't not
Why
watch
Mango
it.
Junkie?
You can watch it on 1.5x speed.
I just had a look at Cardano.
Yeah,
that's tanked.
Really?
It's gone like, that's down like 78 cents or something.
Jex has got Cardano. That's what he said.
No, I actually don't.
Hang on, what's it down to?
Sure.
What's it down to now?
I'll just check it. It says 78 cents. I'll just double check that. That's crazy.
So,
hey, that's interesting.
Because I'm saying my joke was that they're wrecked. So we're saying the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They
actually are wrecked, eh?
Real hard.
Yeah.
You know, there's a rumor that Cardano holders do enjoy watching other guys bang their misses. Like that's it's it's just
where are you pulling this from?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense, right? Because it's like it's the same kind of attitude. Holding Cardano, watching everyone else make mad gains except for you. It's the same. It's kind of in their personality. They enjoy everyone else enjoying it except for themselves. It's kind of, self-deprecating
and bit like Bitcoin holders, isn't it?
Oh, bro.
Snap.
Well, I mean,
sorry, bro.
I've got a multifaceted I was going to say profile, portfolio. So but you guys did you guys see that chart that I made that was HEX versus Bitcoin? I had to custom make it because TradingView didn't have one. So basically I just chose my favorite HEX USD chart and my favorite Bitcoin USD chart and basically divided one by the other. I can throw it up.
Bring it up?
Yeah,
throw it up. I'm sure everyone would like to see it.
You divide
them. What are you trying to do with this one, mate?
You divide them. Like TradingView lets you divide them so that you see how. So that
you can match them against each other.
It basically becomes a HEX BC chart.
Yeah, right.
So right. So check out how clean this is, right? So I thought I'd showed this before on this channel, but so we had this downtrend here that started all the way back in September 2021. And basically we had this, apart from this one little part where a candle closed above it, it's basically this downtrend has been intact. And then this recent pump here, we just broke through that shit. And there's just been relentless upward price action versus Bitcoin all the way up to here. And this red dotted line, this horizontal one here, I didn't draw that. That's automatically put in by the TD sequential tool, which is that, count to 9 momentum timing thing, right? So this TD setup trend line is for obviously for shorting, and if we can close above it, then it's game over, like as in game over, good for HEX, bad for Bitcoin in terms of their ratio. So you can see the last this is on the daily, and you can see the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days have been resisted. It has resisted the price. However, as you know, the more times that you hit any kind of resistance, the weaker it gets. So to me, it looks like we're about to bust through. And I tweeted about it today.
Have you guys seen any of Rackham's tweets?
No.
because
Yeah.
he tweeted before we had this pump saying
Really?
saying something along the lines of "Get ready, guys, your time's running out," and he just tweeted something in the last maybe 24 hours saying some of your last chance to, get under 20 cents.
So he was also
Oh yeah.
previous to that, he'd done a tweet about he was looking to do an OTC buy.
Oh yeah, that's. But he wanted it to be. It had to be how many hex? It had to be
it
like
was
a big.
It was in the hundreds of millions.
It was
I think.
big numbers. Hey, shout out to Alan Fizz Meh for the $5. Appreciate that very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Brewski. Thanks, Brewski.
You get a gold kangaroo award for that
Yes.
Cardano take
So that-
tangent.
That donation was for my ripping on Cardano. Yes.
Good rip.
I've got a question that came to me from a close friend who actually is a Hexagon, thanks to me. Like, we're talking day one. Like he went into the AA. Like he was, like as in used my referral code type level Hexagon, and he asked this question. And I thought I could give him an answer, but I think maybe some of you might be able to answer this better. Do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
All right.
go.
Something I've been concerned with for a while and keen for you to explain it to me like I'm 6. So like real basic, real simple. If PulseChain is going to create copies of HEX, forgetting all the other coins, doesn't simple economics kick in and say that if you double the supply of something with the demand saying the same, don't you end up halving the price? Go.
I would agree.
I mean, if you...
Yeah,
no,
sorry, you go.
I don't agree.
Stock split.
Well,
I don't think it's going to go down like that. But it's interesting, isn't it? It kind of did stump me at first, where I was like, I know that that's not going to happen, but it's hard to explain. It's harder than it sounds to explain why.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, go.
Sorry, Bluey, did you want to jump in there, mate?
No, you go for it, mate. That's cool.
I think that's correct. There's another dynamic in HEX. The most important thing is the fact that you can hard lock your tokens. So I think that what might actually happen to some extent, not completely, but to some extent, is people are going to have extra HEX tokens and people are going to use those tokens to lock up, and sure, some people are going to sell, but they're not going to sell half of their bag. I don't think. I think they're going to have more tokens and they're going to be able to fill out their staking ladder. And they'll sell some and there'll be some drawback, but I think overall we're going to see the aggregate total of both the HEX on both chains being more than what it is now. I think ultimately it's going to create more. It's going to create more because people are going to have more feeling of abundance.
This is actually a beautiful. You go, Blue.
I think that intuitively makes sense. That, okay, let's say you have a whole heap of apples, and then someone come and they sell for a certain price. Someone comes and delivers the exact same amount of apples. You would expect the price of those apples to then be all of the apples to be half because there's the supply is doubled. Yeah. But that's just assuming so much. And what we're seeing is that it comes down to human consensus behavior. And like, if we look back at when these things like this have happened before, like with the Bitcoin forks, the sum of both of them probably was. I mean, first of all, it's hard because this thing is happening in real time, and so like, how much is anything worth? Like, because it's always changing over time. And but we saw with the Bitcoin Cash fork that like immediately after it was like almost double. And then it went down, and then it ended up like after quite a while being about a 1.2x of the whole thing, like in terms of both of those things. Yeah. But with HEX, it's a completely different scenario again, because
it's not contentious.
Because of like OG, but well, it's not contentious for one thing. So, but also like OG said, it's like a ton of HEX is staked. Like,
so to use the
Sounds like-
the apple analogy, if you've got someone producing a whole bunch of apples, so there's a massive supply of apples, but they don't want to sell them to you, and they're only trickling out 1 or 2 apples to sell. It doesn't matter how many exist; it's how many are there for sale. So you've got to assume that everyone wants to sell, and if everyone doesn't want to sell, then that's what holds your price up.
Just hold that thought. Hold that thought there, guys. Now, Semi does have to leave because she's working long hours at the moment. So let's just jump into Hexagon Legends this week.
Lots of plum trees, a sheep, a two, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back.
That's a knife. All I had was me undies on.
Okay, so Sammy, there we go.
Dingo Wolf.
Dingo Wolf, you're the awesome Hexagon of the week for your gorgeous picture of the Hex Aussie Late Show. What a lovely picture it is that you got hanging on your fridge there, mate. Thanks for doing that for us. It's really cute.
Awesome. Hexagon Legend, mate. Hexagon Legend. Dingo Wolf, always in the chat.
I want to know where he got the model.
And on Twitter. Dingo Wolf always on Twitter too. Always, always sticking up for us and sticking.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's our good mate. Love you, Dingo Wolf.
That's a
Dingo.
self-portrait, isn't it?
Awesome.
All right,
Hey,
guys. Hey, good to see you all. Got to run,
Yeah, you too, Sammy.
Always
Thanks, Sammy.
Take care.
See you, Sammy.
Soon.
See ya.
everyone.
You're too good to hang with us now that you speak with Richard all the time.
No, that's right. I'm not rich yet. All right.
See you, Sammy.
But further to your friend's questions, I mean, we'll never know. That's the end result is we will never know, because you would have to test it in 2 separate universes. One where like it is doubled and one where it's not doubled. And we'd have to say the price of that world where it was not doubled. And so it's all, so we'll never know, really.
Okay. This is a really good segue, because I wanted to talk about something tonight. So do you want to play a little thought experiment game? And it'll sort of might tie back into that very question. All right. So you're the inventor of a new chain. So you've spun up this chain. And you've got a product sitting on both chains now. You've got Hex on one side on a chain you don't own, and Hex on a chain you do own and you've got a vested interest in. Where do you think that person would want all of the activity to take place?
On their chain.
On their chain.
Wait, let's be careful with the word "own" here. Like, you mean?
Well, like, own as in he's founded it.
That you founded it. Yeah, that you founded it.
Yeah. Okay. So you've found this chain, and you would much prefer that everyone came across and played on your chain, because that builds value in your network.
Agree completely with that step.
Yep, you've got a problem. You've got a lot of people with a lot of locked value on this other chain. So is there a way you can facilitate them migrating across without losing value? And the way I think this can be done is, so we know that there's big whales, people that have got a lot of economic interest in Hex on ETH and would hate to see it get demolished or not exist anymore, or
it's not going to get canned. It's not going to get totally destroyed.
No one wants to let that value go. There's so much value in it. But if there's a staged approach to bringing it across where no one loses value, but they get the benefit of being on this new beautiful chain, do you think they'd be encouraged to do it? And I think the answer is they probably would. They get to keep all the value, but they get to play in the new ecosystem. And the way I was thinking this could be done is we've often spoke about how price parity might get reached, and that would be probably borne about by a big liquidity pool of Hex and EHEX being created, so that the prices can't They're very hard to move. They're
So
sort of locked.
you're talking specifically about like Ethereum, the HEX that's on Ethereum being bridged across onto the Pulse network and then being paired up with the HEX on the Pulse chain. That's what you're talking about, yeah?
Yep. So we're bridging that asset across. There's an entity that has a big bag of both. Okay, such a big bag that there isn't anyone else in the ecosystem that could push that price apart if that entity wanted to lock it. Okay, so now if that entity locked it such that anyone that was holding HEX on the ETH chain could bridge it across and swap it into HEX on Pulse without losing any value, then they can simply pick up whatever they've got on the ETH chain and bring it across. No value lost. Would you agree with that so far? So deep, the liquidity is so deep that you could trade 1-for-1, price would be locked. So any liquid balance you have, you could transfer across.
Up until a point.
That's
like
very
up until
plausible.
a point.
Why is there a point on that?
No.
Well,
you can actually.
if it keeps getting eaten, then it gets. And then even if it is massive liquidity, it's eventually it gets.
We're talking massive liquidity.
Bluey.
Like,
Think
about the quantities we're talking about.
If
the
that
numbers
one
we're talking
whale,
here.
if that one whale, if there happened to be a whale out there that owned 80% plus of the supply on both chains, then everyone collectively working together to move that thing off peg would have zero chance because it's over 50%. Once you go over 50%, it's done. It's cooked.
So we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next phase. Okay, you've got guys that are locked for 15 years. All right. So that's going to take a long time to migrate that across.
Oh yeah, it's not even including all the locked people. Yeah.
So you got all these locked people. Then you go, okay, well, what if everyone starts to do that and they're not restaking on the ETH chain? Well, what happens? Your yield goes up on the ETH chain and could go down on the Pulse. So it becomes more attractive, doesn't it? So then you go, well, everyone would just flood across back to the ETH chain.
Yeah, but back and forth.
What if? No. What if the OA could stabilize the yields on both and just chuck in a stake to stabilize the yield on ETH to peg it to that of PulseChain? So you're in no better position being on either chain. The yields are equal, yet you can transfer across to the new chain whenever you like. Do you see any flaws in that? I think that could be a staged migration. If you wanted to get off of ETH chain, that is.
Can you repeat the last step?
Okay, you got a bunch of people that have got locked HEX for 15 years.
Yeah.
We've got to take a long time to migrate that across.
Yeah.
But the risk is, okay, the people that have all got liquid and the guys that are ending their stakes, the shorter stakes, they pick it up and they swap it for HEX on Pulse. Don't lose any value. It's just a straight transfer. But then the yield on the ETH side starts to go up because no one's staking. All right, so someone has to come in and balance that yield. So bring them back into level pegging so that you can. It doesn't encourage people to leave your chain that you've just created and go back to the other chain.
It's an interesting.
Yeah. And so you think, and so, but then the problem is that if you see that big actor doing that on the ETH chain, that really lowers the value of that HEX on the ETH chain.
Does it get, because how much gas are you going to waste ending stakes? And there's a lot of people that have probably got stakes that can't, it's going to be costly to end them. And that's not the be all and end all. But what if PulseChain is so successful, you want to be on PulseChain? You don't give two shits about if you had an easy way to get your value off of ETH chain onto PulseChain. Why wouldn't you do it?
I've got one plot twist for you.
Yeah.
This
is what it's about.
How about ego play, having the best performing asset on the Ethereum chain, bragging rights. Boom. So no significant attempt to try and pull all that shit over to Pulse and migrate over, because we know it's never going to fully happen, right? Not for 15 years. or like excessive emergency end staking. So just allow it to dominate on both chains. And I've always said I like the idea of having redundancy, yo. Like it strengthens HEX because it means unforeseen shit can always happen. And so now you've got two networks with two different dev teams, two different consensus mechanisms, two different like surrounding ecosystems. That means that if something goes wrong that's unforeseen on either one of them, HEX survives on the other. So I kind of like the idea of not trying to actually sort of artificially encourage it to be too one-sided.
Yeah, this is just, like I said, it's a thought experiment. And Crypto Goose, we covered that. There's an entity that can rebalance the APY on the ETH side so that it's not super attractive to be on the ETH side, so that it's equivalent.
I think we're going to see things like other things come into play. On the ETH, we're going to see, potentially we could see more Maximus stakes on the ETH, potentially. And then what we're also going to see is the trading of HEX stakes in the form of HSIs or a similar type thing. That is going to be traded like bonds. They're going to be traded like bonds. And there'll be markets in that. And it's early days, but think 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, stakes will be able to be traded like bonds, and it's going to be a bit more normal. It's going to be like what people do. And that's going to change the game.
Okay. All right. Do you think that there's things that they can be built on ETH? So we're post fork now. Fork's done. We're 2 years down the track. Where are most people building things that suit the Pulse HEX ecosystem? They're building it on PulseChain, you would like to think. So therefore, maybe you're missing out on some of those tools on ETH, and some of those tools.
But it's all EVM compatible, so they
I get that. But why are we moving off of ETH in the first place?
I don't think he'll move off. I don't think he'll see. I don't think Richard sees it as a competition so much. Like, well, maybe that's a bad way of putting it. He doesn't. No, he doesn't see it as he wouldn't see Ethereum as a threat.
What?
Like he's making.
I don't think. I think in his very words,
I agree with that. But I agree with Bluey to some extent. I don't think you need to kill Ethereum, or I think everything can grow. Like it can all be more.
Yeah.
Everything can be more. It's just that PulseChain can we're expecting PulseChain to
PulseChain's going to fill up as well. PulseChain will eventually fill up as well. We're going to need more and more chains.
There'll be more.
Don't get me wrong. I don't give a shit whether
too many people
ETH stays successful. If HEX on ETH stays successful, I'm a happy man. I don't care. But I'm just saying there's a potential.
But just game playing it out. I don't know if you would bother really playing those kind of like trying to match the yield on both chains. I think you'd probably just let the markets do what they need to do. And if only 5% of HEX is being staked on Ethereum, and you can get double the yield over there, then I think you'll see people probably making some, making stakes there. Maybe. I mean, it'll come down to user experience for the masses. It's probably only the whales that will be playing on the ETH chain anyway. Unless, what happens if the gas prices go down drastically because PulseChain is taking up a whole lot of those users?
I hope it happens, man. I hope it happens. But
Can you guys imagine a version of Maximus that is basically that takes you commit HEX on the ETH chain, but the stake gets made over on the Pulse chain? Like, I know that obviously anywhere where you use a bridge, then you can't do it fully trustlessly. But do you think that something like that could happen, that basically a version of Maximus that actually encourages the contribution of the economic energy on the ETH side, but the stake gets made on the Pulse side?
That seems like unnecessary complication and
just in line with this stuff that Jex is talking about in terms of trying to encourage people to be on the
just trying to move value over.
Yeah,
I don't see it
happening. I guess the thing is that the difference is that the person who's participating in that contract is taking on the risk with the bridge tokens being there
as well. Yeah.
Whereas when you go over to the other chain, you're actually going to go over to the liquidity pool on Pulse and swap your hex from the ETH chain over to the hex from the Pulse chain. So you're actually going to then have the native hex token on Pulse. So I mean, look, it could happen. I mean, something like that could happen. It just there is like you're adding in extra risk, like
complexity.
It's an interesting.
No, but
it's an
it's
interesting
a bit unnecessary
idea,
but at the end of the
tangent.
stake, you'd have
It's
to come
an
back.
interesting idea.
But at the end of the stake, you'd have to come back over. So you'd have to trust that Bridge was there and that ETH had value, like in 15 years' time and all of that kind of stuff. Like there would just be too much unnecessary
The
risk.
bridge thing is what we really want to see. The bridge things, like that, is something that I think will change the game completely. Like when there is legit. Like, and this goes back to what I was saying before, Jexa, about like, you know, we're getting there. It's like it's stepping stones, you know, with liquid loans, but even with bridges, like we're still on our way, you know, but hopefully one day we have that trustless bridge, like a legit trustless bridge. And then when that happens, in my mind, you're solved the scaling issue. You've solved the scaling issue when you've got.
So, G, have you or Jax, have you guys like looked at what compromises Richard has made with the current bridge? Like, is it a federated system or what is it?
I've got to be honest, I haven't taken the time to really dig into it. I've trusted that there's smarter people than me working on that one and have it all locked down.
And even deep into it.
Right. It'd be interesting to hear where he did kind of end up having to compromise, if it's like, or how they organize it. I mean, it seems to work super fast when you try it out.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, the whole chain is just awesome. Like even going back to ETH is slow, and ETH is doing 13-second blocks, but it's just super quick on Pulse. I love using it. It'll be interesting to see whether we start to get how long it takes before we start to see congestion, but I think we've got a fair bit of growth room before that's an issue, I think.
So what sort of things can be done, you know, and we're talking down the track. Let's just say we're talking 5 years down the track. Okay, we start to see some congestion on the Pulse chain. What sort of things can be done? I mean, can we like upgrade the hardware? You know, can we make bigger blocks? Can we you know, what can we do? Like it's a lot easier to do that when you've only got like less validators and you've got that mindset already from the get-go, because that is the mindset of, you know.
But you know what? You're also gonna see people spinning up their own chains, because if Richard is successful doing this, there's gonna be copycats.
The problem,
people like.
Yeah, I don't think it's not as easy as you'd think, though, mate. We're just lucky we've got a really solid community that. Like this is going to be a fully functioning.
Oh, there's going to be some shit
on day
ones.
one. Like
there's going to be some. There's going to be some Jerry built ones for sure. Like there's going to be people.
What were you
spinning
saying,
up all
Tangent?
sorts of crap.
I was going to say the problem with big blocks is that if he's, it sounds to me like Richard has been optimizing the parameters, and so if he has reduced, because to me the block time sounds very fast. And so if you've got a situation where the block time is already like maxing out on how quick it can be and you increase the block size, you just fuck the network, because in terms of you've got a limitation in the speed of light and how fast you can move data around the planet so that you can actually keep all the validators in synchronization. And so if you add the amount of data that needs to be transmitted and you were already maxing out on block times, then you've just exceeded the ability for everything to stay in sync, start getting orphan chains and shit like that. So we would need to be, we just need to be really careful with.
You'll hit theoretical limits. There's only so much you can do.
I trust that Richard's got all that shit under control, got some of the best minds in crypto, that they won't fuck those parameters up. But it's just, sometimes it's not as simple as it sounds.
We've heard him speak on this, like that it needs to be horizontal. The scaling does need to be horizontal. So, like whilst we can't spin up another chain, you just, you know, the people who have already got the Pulse chain working, you know, theoretically, can't you just have another 33 validators? It's a matter of getting
Yeah.
the hardware and then just fork again.
PulseChain,
you know?
PulseChain 2.
Yeah. This is a comment from Johnny Chaos. On Pulse, you can do a 30-day profit. You can do 30-day profitable stakes. HEX becomes a universal miner. You can take your yield and buy any damn coin you fancy. ETH stopped that because of fees, but with Pulse, people can. That's right. I mean, you know, people forget why Pulse was built. People forget, like, Pulse was built for HEX. Like, no shit. He's just built it for HEX.
But do you think Maxi's going to eat? Yeah, but do you think Maxi's going to eat up those kind of rolling stakes?
On
I
Ethereum?
guess, on Pulse, well, both.
No.
Like you get to maximize out the amount of yield you're getting on it.
Okay, so Maxi's very new. We've got to see how it goes. I'm super bullish on. I reckon it's a cracking idea. I've participated in it. I think it's going to go really well, but I don't think it.
So let's have a look. Think
I would
about
like
this,
to have the
Jexer.
flexibility. Yeah.
Okay, think about this. You've got a whole ton of HEX liquid, but you want to keep it liquid just in case you want to cash it out for something else. So at the moment, or for the last 2 years, what people have been doing is putting them into rolling 1 week, 2 week, 30-day stakes, right? Paying all of those gas fees. And they have that access to that liquidity the whole time. Or what you can do is put into Maxi. You're maximizing out the amount of yield that your HEX is getting.
Yep.
Bob got me mad bullish on Maxi.
And that's exactly what I was talking about with a group of guys today.
And so,
hey guys, I'm just going to jump in quickly.
You don't need to decide.
We've just hit over 200 viewers right now. We haven't done that before, so that's awesome for us.
Wow.
Thanks to
I'm sitting here looking at it. I haven't refreshed the window and saying 33 watching. I'm going, well, that's pretty piss poor tonight.
But Jexer, like, look at the yield you can get on a 30-day stake compared to what you're getting on a Quattro Cinco, right? And the other thing is that if you are unsure about when you want to take it out, that's why they're doing these 2 week, 30-day, blah 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 things, is because they all they want to do is wait the maximum 30 days. But with Maximus, you can put it in, be getting the absolute maximum yield possible.
Totally agree.
And you can just
can I just say,
there's a floor in
it's
your
only
plan.
It's only 3.3% more. Like, if you weren't to do it with Maximus and not get that 10% bonus T share, right? It's only
but you're getting way more.
No,
you're getting the max. You're getting way more than that than a 30-day stake.
No, I'm not talking about 30. I'm saying with Maximus, if I'm to do my own 15-year stake or 10-year stake for that matter.
Okay, but there's tons of reasons that you wouldn't.
3.3% reoccurring more T shares, which is not insignificant.
But you haven't. Not insignificant. Yeah, but you haven't got it liquid. You haven't got it liquid for 15 years. You haven't got or potentially just a little bit of it or whatever.
That is true. That's a good point. Unless, of course, you do it in a HSI. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
now
scrape off
Blue,
your head,
so that's really good. So let's just say, Bluey, there's a few really big wallets that went into Maxi. Would you agree? If they wanted to have that liquid and sell it now, they couldn't.
Yeah, good point.
They would. They just push the price. There's not enough liquidity there to do it.
But it'd be eaten up pretty quickly, you would think.
Yeah, but it's
like as soon as it goes down, it's
not instant sell like you think it's going to be. You're nowhere near
not as
liquid
much.
As HEX.
Not okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, but don't get me wrong. I'm all for Maxi. I reckon it's a cracker, and maybe the liquidity will build up more. Definitely, if the price goes up, just by nature of the price going up, there'll be deeper liquidity.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see. Sorry, Bluey. I'll be quick. I'd like to see a yearly Maxi, contract run a yearly. My concern would be that if it's maybe in later years it could be run more often, but my concern would be is if it was run too often, they wouldn't get that 150 mil. And
agree. agree
You
with
know,
you.
you want to get
1,000,000%.
that 150. You want to get that 150 mil. You really do want to get that 150 mil. I think you could
like
they
the
easily do that every
novelty,
year.
the sense of urgency wears off if people think, oh, they're going to be doing it again in a few months, so I'll just wait for the next one. It needs to be like, oh shit, if I miss this train, there is no other train. I'm waiting till the next. Like, you know what I mean?
It's a year.
I
A year
think
is no.
so, because Funding Jim suggested quarterly, and I was like, oh, bro, max. Like that to me is probably too soon, but definitely no more frequently than quarterly.
It might be possible to do quarterly in later
quarterly
years,
max,
like later
years.
Yeah. Because as the payouts start ramping up in the later years, there's going to be a lot more out there that you know people are going to have in the way of their their reward at the end of their stake.
I'm with you, man. If it was up to me, I know I have no say because it's obviously decentralized. People could run them every freaking week or every day. But if it was up to me, I would go no more frequently than yearly, 100%.
Is that because you just don't think you would get enough in the stake to get it to the 10%?
Yeah, I think the novelty would wear off if people knew it was happening really frequently. It's like the difference between a difference between a nightclub that runs every weekend and an event that like when Eminem comes to Perth, like you have to go to that show. Like, but if he was here every weekend, you'd be like, I'll just go next weekend, and you get slack about it, get complacent.
Yep. Yeah.
So I guess Day 43 and I don't know what that limit is. So it's better to be on the side of caution, because obviously there is a limit where that will happen, and we actually haven't found out where it is. But I think we should start wide to make sure that we don't fuck it up, and then like he said, later in future years, then we can dial it back. If we see that they're always oversubscribing by heaps, then you can start to pull it in, you know?
A big thank you to JFK666 for the super chat.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. JFK is the author, the creator of those fantastic memes. We're waiting for some more of those memes, JFK. We'll premiere them on this channel.
So he wants to know our predictions on Hedron price.
Yes, and
that's a bluey question.
It's a bluey question.
He's too busy in the jungle. He doesn't even know what's going on now, do you, mate?
Can I? I'll jump in first, quickly, just real quick. I'm just going to say I think that Hedron, if it's going to do anything price-wise in future, it's going to be a longer-term sort of thing. I think it's just going to be a longer-term thing.
I think that was we always said that it was going to be a 2 or 3 year play, I thought.
Yeah.
You've got to
at the least
just the launch mechanism, and what's more important is you need a lot of people borrowing to actually get the game theory to kick in. If you get a lot of people borrowing really quickly, that will turn it around. But it's a double-edged sword because no one's going to borrow if the value is not in the token. So
actually, I think you'll also find whales use the auctions as a way to burn Hedron as well.
Yeah, but what?
So you chuck up you chuck up a small hex stake, go into default on it, and get people to pile in their Hedron to at auction, because that gamification is very.
So how many stakes are sitting there that are potentially going to be able to take a heat of Hedron off the market?
At the moment, there's looking like there's, I think, around, I can't remember. I think it's like 30. There's around 30 that look like they're heading for default at the moment.
And they decent size ones, or?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked, but I think a lot of people are going to spend their free Hedron on trying to get those hex stakes, and that's going to drive up the price, and all of that Hedron's going to be burnt. And so I think there's this other greater game that's going to be played out with Hedron over time, where people want to see that.
But who's sacrificing stakes, though?
Whales who have lots of Hedron and want to see it burnt.
Yeah,
think about it.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying it's going to take a lot, man, a lot.
It could be one of those things that Hedron, because stakers get it, like they just get it. for free, basically. It could be one of those things that, you know, maybe a lot of whales, like big players in HEX, sold their Hedron. But maybe because it's just got this staying power, it's going to be in front of their faces for many, many years. Maybe it's going to grow on them, and then they're going to start to like it and then want to keep it. Maybe they're not going to want to sell it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's one of those things. But I saw in the chat someone saying that HEX is pumping. Does anyone have a chart that we could look at?
I'm sharing a chart right now, but it's of Hedron. I was going to answer give my answer graphically. So
do it.
This is a downtrend. This will be quick. This was a downtrend that I was watching. This white line here, and it looks like we've sort of grinded sideways out of there. We're basically ranging below this support line, which is actually now obviously resistance. You could say this is a double bottom. You could say we have broken out of this downtrend by grinding sideways. And the other thing I want to comment on is that from the all-time high, this low where this double bottom occurred is at almost 80% pullback. So that's that's I don't think that would be it doesn't look like a bad time to be entering, I guess, if you believe in Hedron in the long term. It's sort of like, I think it usually gets fairly exhausted. Like unless you believe that we are in a savage bear market, then an 80% pullback is usually a decent time to buy in. What was the other chart you wanted? You wanted a HEX chart. Let's take a look.
HEX chart. And I was looking at the HEX chart earlier.
It's pumping.
Could you zoom out for a bit? Because now that we've come through the
like daily or weekly?
No, daily's fine. Daily's fine.
Oh, you just wanted to zoom out in terms of like the actual view?
Maybe not that much. Yeah, just maybe from the top. So now that we've got this, it looks to me that we've got this ball sack formation here with the left nut hanging lower than the right nut. Now that we've come through this successfully, I think that we're on the up and up, and we're going to see a nice big phallus come off to the right here.
We did have a textbook pullback.
What's on your mind, OG?
Yeah, I mean, I made a tweet today saying that I believe that the price is reversed on basically all time frames, weekly and below. But then someone threw in the idea that even though we are making higher lows and higher highs on a time like this, which is the daily, theoretically, if you look at this red dotted trend line here, we could still be in a downtrend. Now, what I want to caution people is that there's almost always another way that you can kind of like still be bearish if you want to be. And typically what happens is once all of those options are exhausted for being bearish, people's mentality flips into, it's too late now. It's gone up too much. It's too late. I'm not buying in. I've missed all the gains. So like if you're gonna flip between those two things of being like, no, I'm not bullish yet. I'm not bullish yet. No, I've missed the boat. Like then you're gonna get wrecked. You're gonna get reverse wrecked in terms of like missing the gains. So, I mean, at some point, you need to choose when you're going to switch from being like accepting that there has been some kind of reversal in the trend and market structure.
So if
speaking of
on
market
that chart
structure,
there,
you're being asked to draw a shaft. Tell you.
Okay, because I hope you guys realize that. So this is actually how balls work. So with balls, a bit of biology here. Your balls actually do hang at different levels, so that if you get two different temperatures, so that hopefully one of the balls will always be, I was trying to draw it like Richard's wee, and it doesn't fit on the screen if I do Richard's. So we'll just have to do a regular.
Shouldn't it be
PP.
Should it be up and to the right?
To the right.
It's going to be some Pablo Picasso style like dick drawing with the.
Can you rotate these drawing tools? Can I rotate this? That's something I've never tried to do.
You might be able to flip it.
Oh, and then it's going to just be, then it's just going to be like.
So can I just say, if you've just joined in the stream right now, please disregard this. This is like a moment of craziness that we're having, but this is not the usual thing. Hey, or is it?
Because this stream is never juvenile.
We're making up for Unrec not being on this one. Wait, so
Unrec finds a way to get on.
in spirit, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But then obviously, with crypto, you also always have to remember that there's fundamentals as well. Like as much as like there's on chain, technicals, fundamentals. It's all three. So when you've got guys like Rackham saying this might be your last opportunity to buy in 20 cents, and if you guys remember, historically 20 cents was also a previous level that he bought. Remember when he said when it goes under 20, you're going to see some fucking big green candles, and those candles happened. But then obviously subsequent to that, we ended up going below. But maybe 20 cent for him is a level that he believes is undervalued, globally speaking, and it might be time to just get on this rocket bunny,
Tangent, if you draw just on that, the higher highs there, down the bottom, if you draw, so if you can match all those up, if we break that line, that's pretty much when you go super bullish. Would you say that? So, because that could be
then you're breaking out of this channel. Yeah.
That's
you're sort of breaking out of this channel.
For. Yeah, that's what you're looking for, because that technically could be a bear flag, but if you break out of that channel, that would be something to look for.
That's the tweet right there.
It's too small.
Can't read.
But,
see if I can.
You can just give us the. That's the background that Dozza used when he streamed with me.
Can you read that?
That's straight off the HEX website. Oh yeah, here we go.
Per EP network.
$1.20.
What's EP network?
Ethereum Pulse.
Network.
Oh.
So that's like the combined.
Combined.
Networks.
He's saying each there, isn't he?
He's saying per. So same price on as in both. That price on both.
What's the next bit though? What's the
tasty?
2.1175 equals 8 cents per. Oh, okay. So
the two is from the divided by 2.
Yep.
17 cents divided by 2 is 8 cents. Yeah. 15x per network. 2x easy money.
Is he saying it's going to dump down to 8 cents first and then go to $1.20? Is that what he's saying?
I've got no idea what he's saying, man. Can someone decipher it?
Sorry. Oh, no. I got it.
All I'm looking at is his final shot below 20 cents.
Yeah.
So
that's the only bit I'm looking at.
That's
yo. I've got it. He's saying that at the current price of 17.5, it must have been that when he made the post, you're effectively paying approximately 8 cents per hex once you get the double supply, right? So he's saying you're paying 8 cents per network, and then if it goes to $1.20 on both, and my opinion is they are going to be tethered because of that thing we've been talking about with the big LP shit. So basically, if you go from 8 cents to $1.20,
12x
and assume there'll be links as well, which I agree.
That's the 15x.
Then that's the 15x, which is okay, that's reasonable in crypto. 15x is reasonable, so I like it. Let's do that.
Yes, and
so
we're saying that this price now is going to be your last chance to get.
Actually, yo, I just thought of something. You know, market cap, vanity metric, that shit has like it tricks people, right? The unit bias, and Richard milked that unit bias in all of his projects. High supply, people thinking they're getting cheap ass coins, right? Spoiler alert, this is going to be similar, where once it's a chain split, when HEX gets to like say $1, people are going to only think, oh, well, it's only a 2x from all-time high. Really, for anyone holding pre-fork, it's a 4x. So our gains are going to not look as crazy, which means people will be less reluctant, i.e. more willing, to jump in on a coin that doesn't look like it's done psycho performance, but our performance will always be double what you're seeing. Do you like that little hidden gem?
I love it.
Yep.
Nice, man.
So it's another,
like
it's another one of those. It's another one of those ones where if people look deeply enough, then they'll know. But most people don't. Most people just come in, they look at the chart, they don't go and look at the history of the coin and learn about it and find out what's what. They just look at the chart and go, "Oh yeah, look, that one's doubled. The gains haven't been that crazy."
It's basically like the big payday that keeps on giving.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, all these little game mechanics that the majority of crypto users don't know about, that are working behind the scenes to just make everything better when you're in a Richard Hart ecosystem. Like the dude's a master of game theory. Like he's just he's a master of everything that matters when it comes to crypto projects. Game theory, advertising, freaking incentive structures, freaking talking like a rap superstar, get a buzz, get the hate flowing as free advertising, all of it, all of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Engagement. He's a master of it all.
Hey, we're talking about game mechanics there and tokenomics. I'm still unclear, and I've had my head deeply involved in other things, so I haven't taken the time to really understand this. The pools. So when you stake your PulseX, at the moment they've got this PRT token showing in the pool. Do you guys understand that yet? I'm still not sure how that works. Or is it being made public? Does anyone know?
No, I think there's still information that we haven't been.
Okay,
No
I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
I've just been in the clouds and haven't realised, but
we don't know the full tokenomics yet. We don't know the full tokenomics.
Okay. No, that's fair. Back on Maxi for a second. I was having a chat with HEX Champ, and he came up with a theory. He said, "Do you ever think it'll get to the stage? So, let's say 2 years down the track, 3 years down the track, people will come into the market, see this Maxi coin, see it going up, and it just keeps going up and looking pretty good. Buy it.
Yeah.
Not understand what the hell it does, or that you've got to redeem it,
or that it's pegged to HEX.
I said this, and it'll look like it's
Yeah.
always outperforming HEX.
Yeah. And then you'll get 15 years down the track, and people will never ever redeem it because they don't understand that you're supposed to. But it'll still hold its value, I think.
Oh no, they'll redeem it. They'll redeem it when if you're holding it right before the 15 years.
No, what I'm saying is you're assuming someone knows exactly what it is, but someone can just come in and buy that coin because they see it going up and think, cool, I'll hold a Maxi. Don't understand what it does. Never get redeemed.
The price of it will remain high while you can.
Oh yeah, no, it would.
Go and swap it for whatever.
It would be going up. It would be going. Hang on, it'd be going up high, and then it would just level out because it would stop earning interest. It would go up in line with the price of HEX.
Yeah, and people would realize that those people who are selling it don't know what the fuck they're doing, and so they'd probably offer them a little bit less than it's worth.
No one really knows what the fuck they're doing. Like, even I still wake up some days and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing in crypto? What the actual fuck is going on here? Like, it's because I think I know deeply that as soon as you start to think that you know what the fuck is going on, the market is going to sit you down and teach you a lesson. So you have to always stay humble. Like, you can never speak in certainty and when that to me is a sign of a rookie when I hear people speaking with too much confidence in crypto.
I'm not saying
it is getting it is getting
no. I think people understand that when we make statements, it's usually just our opinion and and that sort of thing, and that we're not laying down like.
No, but you can talk about what. Yeah, but you can talk about what has happened, and you can talk about what is happening in certain instances, and you can also speculate it. like give a good informed decision as to why things happen as well.
Mm.
In terms of future prediction of prices, of course, you know, it's like no one should ever like have the confidence to know exactly what's going to happen, but you can look at trends and things like that, and you know,
absolutely,
like, make good estimates. It's getting super. What I'm finding now is because I'm meeting lots of people, and I'm finding it super hard to succinctly like.
There's a lot to
say. Like, there's so much information. It used to be just
what you're saying because there's so many projects now. I guess the easiest way to do it now, like, so you know how the old school way of doing it would be to say to someone, look, if you're a no coiner and you're coming in, stick with like the big cap assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. You're generally not going to like lose all your money, start to get used to it, and then maybe go into the altcoin forest. Now I think the 2022 version of that is start with any one Richard Hart project. Just pick one and have that as your entry point, and then start to branch out from there. Rather than trying to sort of like understand intricate links and interactions between all these projects and trying to come up with some optimized strategy, you just pick any one of them and start to experience crypto on the winning team.
I like that comment.
Yeah. I mean, I try to like to say, just learn, take time to learn. Like there's a lot to learn. There's a fire hose of information. And if you want to make an informed decision coming from understanding, like I can give you what I think, but everyone's financial situation is completely different. Everyone's risk tolerance is completely different. Everyone's ability to earn money is completely different. And so everyone's going to have a very, very specific kind of like, you know, way that they approach this. And I think the best thing is just to learn, you know, what is a cryptocurrency, you know, and how do I, you know, and all that safety stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, like starting with HEX, I think understanding HEX is a really good starting point.
That's a good starting point, but I think PulseChain is the ultimate onboarding tool because it's very easy.
I just don't want to. Yeah, I just don't want anyone to. I'm really like unsure about what to tell people in terms of if they weren't in the sacrifice set, and now they're finding out about Pulse and PulseX, and they want to get into it and they want some. It's like, what do you do? I mean, I tell them wait for a dip. I just say wait until it dips 70% and then dollar cost average in, and I don't really know what else to.
Yeah,
like what advice to give them with those things, you know?
Bluey, you just reminded me of something I've started telling my no coiner friends, because I was thinking deeply about why is it like I wanted to look at the people who have made it massive in crypto and what the differences are. Why are there a lot of people that just basically are in crypto for quite a while and never get anywhere, right? And I believe that unfortunately, you need to be in one of two categories. You either need to come in already wealthy and go large, or you need to hit one out of the park early. So there are, like, I hear the stories that I hear from the people who are whale-like in crypto. The way they got there was either that they were already rich, or they are like, oh, I put $100 into Shiba, I turned into like 100 grand, and then I was a whale, and then I was just like whaling all these coins, and then because you're coming in with large bags on multiple coins. You only need one of them. Like then you're doing basically VC style investing. So you get to that VC status either by already being rich or by having one early. And luckily for a lot of people that came into HEX early, they've already done the hit one out of the park to get a massive amount of economic energy that you can start to now like VC style invest into other shit.
Shout out to Bitfinesse. Thanks for the $9.99 USD. Can someone please tell me what WAGMI means?
We're all going to make it.
Something. We're all going to make it. I knew that.
I thought it was a kind of beef.
I like that way. I like that attitude of we're all going to make it. We're all getting girlfriends, guys. We're all getting girlfriends, except for Cardano holders. Cardano holders are losing their girlfriends. We're going to actually our girlfriends will be Cardano holders' ex-girlfriends. Some, only the hot ones. So,
Cardano holders are losing their girlfriends. My wife's going to make me buy Cardano for sure. I don't think she's going to be down with this girlfriend deal.
Jexa, really interested to hear your comment on what I just said.
Yeah, what do you define as rich? So you said you either get lucky or you come in
money.
already rich.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually
Rich is fuck you money.
With my no coiner mates, I do actually give them brackets. I'm like, so like ideally, like starting with like about 100 grand. I think anything less than 10K makes it tough to quickly build wealth in crypto. And certainly if you're under 2K, like if you're coming in with under 2K, which a lot of my friends, like I've got quite a few friends that are not at all wealthy. And so they're looking at like their investment into crypto will be sub 2K. And I'm like, look, this is not going to be easy for you. Like, as in, this is not an easy path. You either need to be incredibly lucky or incredibly patient.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'd take
another shout out. Sorry, I got to jump in. I've got to come on. Another shout out to Bit Finesse for another $9.99. We've already done the important thing. They were sleeping on crypto, and now we've awoken to RH products. DCA in and don't sleep on crypto ever again.
Sound advice. Never sleep on crypto. Never sleep on, never. I tell people that's my only regret, and I don't live with regrets, so take what you will from that. But my crypto regret was leaving the space. Like if I had just stayed in after I rage quit after we lost all our Bitcoin on Mt. Gox. If I had stayed in, I would be probably orders of magnitude wealthier than I am now. So I'm never leaving ever again. Like I'm all in.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You talked about someone coming with 2,000, someone coming with 100,000, and I agree. Like 100,000, if you want to make it in a cycle, But it's funny you said you want to get rich or wealthy quickly, and if you come from the legacy space, from traditional finance, where you've been doing the traditional investing scenarios, whether it's buying index funds or getting involved in property, whether you're buying property, or if you go to the more risky end of property, like I'm involved in, where you're doing the developments, even that. So developments are the big money makers in the property world. That pales in comparison to the gains that you can make in a single cycle in crypto. So a typical project in the development space can run for sort of 12 months to 2 years, pretty normal, and you pull out 20% profit on costs.
Jexa, I think the problem is that all that shit goes out the window as soon as someone comes into crypto. They go into get rich quick mode. So they're not really comparing to legacy. They're comparing to like the wild fantasy MMO, like make money online shit that they've heard before, where it's all like scam shit. Their brain goes into that mode where they're like, this is actually a way to get rich quick. And they're thinking, they're seeing dollar signs and they think they can make $1 million in like 2 months. So I think maintaining that sensible calibration to legacy markets would be very difficult for most people.
Okay,
like,
so
unless they've had their own business or they've been in some kind of like.
I do notice that a lot.
For wage slaves, like, you know what I mean? Like if they haven't been in.
Let's put it into context with HEX, though. Let's put that into context. Jay Everything just wrote a message here. I know a hexagon who wasn't even there day one, invested 250 and is worth 750K today. That's real. That's real.
Yeah, that's real.
They must have got in close to the bottom
early.
Day 43,
maybe day 33 or day 43, something like that. They might
that's
got into the bottom, and that 250 could legit today be worth that much, right? Because the all-time high would be, maybe a 3 to 4x.
But also, he might not be able to access that for a long.
That's right.
This is true.
Or something like that.
This is true. This is true. Shout out to JFK666. We are just we're getting some super chats
have
tonight.
been
like super yacht's getting closer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What even happens to this? What even happens to the money? I know the DS Network do good things with it.
So, well, I think
know DS Network.
The boxing
Well, we sponsored.
fight,
we sponsored Jake Lund.
So, Jake, the
That is
MMA
true.
fighter, would have been sponsored with these super chats, like as in partly.
Yes, that is exact. So that's what you guys are doing when you see those ring girls. You guys.
Yeah, so I guess it might be worth mentioning that these super chats, us as our team, we don't see any of this money. It goes collectively to Discourse Syndicate, and then they allocate the funds benevolently for the benefit of like HEX and that sort of thing.
To promote, to promote
HEX
and the comment is
to run the channel
by
and stuff,
JFK 666. The comment is Bluey. That moustache is coming on. I'm a little bit worried about that beard though. Are you going to morph into the Aussie version of Markable? Markable bum.
Mate, well, first off, I could never compete with yours. You know, like a ridiculously amazing Mo JFK.
It's a strongman Mo from the
Mo.
1800s. A strongman.
Yeah.
Good description, bro.
No, I've been trekking through a Colombian jungle for the last 5 days, and so haven't really felt the desire to shave. And but I'm not. No, it's going to happen. I'm going to go do the old pretty soon. So yeah, I'm not going to compete with Markable, and yeah.
Hey, can I give a quick shout out to a website called Crypto Panic, where it basically just has bad news about the crypto stuff, because their motto, I love their motto, it's if you're gonna panic early. So it means like if you hear about shit,
it's not just bad stuff though.
It's not just, but I think it leans that way. So you find out about something going wrong on a project early because this site tells you straight away, and then you can dump before everyone else dumps. That's the idea. So I've just been taking articles and then I tweet out basically promoting HEX, basically saying, yeah, you know, if you'd been in HEX, then this wouldn't have happened to you, or like HEX units are unaffected, or like PulseChain will be better in this respect, and stuff like that, where I basically just take those projects and shit on that project while also in the same breath promote HEX or PulseChain. And it's been working well. People have been liking those tweets. Shout
out to Bob Lagai, Super Chat. Where does the Super Chat ETH go?
Richard, where do the Super Chats go, Richard? Where do the lemons go, Richard? Are you Ski Cat? Where did the lemons go? Fucking hell. Yeah. That was.
I've just lost my train of thought.
You know how I was talking about Crypto Panic, but I was just going to say,
That's right. Oh yeah. I was just going to say for people that don't know what it is, though, it's an actual aggregator. So it drags in tweets, everything from Cointelegraph, everywhere. So it sucks it all in, and it's like a portal where you can go to. Sorry, mate, go for it.
I was just going to say, you know how I've talked about challenging Richard on some of the things he's said about Bitcoin and trying to take a bit of a defensive stance on Bitcoin. I was planning to jokingly ask, where did the ETH go? And then I was like, I'm literally not going to waste a single second on jokes. I'm going like serious from start to finish. But I would one day, maybe if I meet him in person, I'm going to ask him where the ETH went. I have to do it. It's just, I have to do it. It needs to be done.
Bro, it's all on chain. It's all there.
Yeah, have a look.
I just want to see the look on his face, like 6 years in, being asked that question. Like, so we're heading. Are we heading towards the 3-year anniversary? It must be, right?
It's
2.5 years right now.
It'll be November, wouldn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, November.
So later this year, we're gonna have a 3-year anniversary.
So this is that
we're in May already.
Yeah, dude, it goes quick. We're May. It's nuts.
So that Lindy effect is something's going to be around based on how long it's already been around. Is that, I've butchered that, but
yes, it is. Yeah. The longer something's been around, the more likely it is to be around. Like the Bible, or unfortunately, nation states probably fall, like empires probably fall into that category.
Herpes.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Herpes. Jeez, man. Time.
So that all the people that said this was going to be a rug pull in the first months have been well and truly proven wrong.
I think they have to admit it wasn't a rug. Like, people have to admit that now.
Oh, they're still waiting for it. They're still waiting for it.
You know, there are some people that still think
it's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's just
some people still think that even though Richard can literally buy anything that he wants now, literally anything, that he would rug his own project for some kind of financial gain. It's so stupid.
It is so dumb. That line of thought is
so
just
dumb.
So dumb. It's like they've not put any thought into it whatsoever.
Shout out to Jim Rat Crypto as well. Before I got on here, mate, I've done a heap of cardio. I've been lifting weights. Been watching the diet. So I'm right into the
Jim Rat. This is for you, buddy. Right here, buddy.
I've got to go back in the app and tick it all off to say I've done it all. But
are you in the challenge,
challenge? Yeah.
Oh shit!
This is Abra Cadabra. He's got a I think this is sort of directed a little bit at Tangent, but probably all of us, because I know that I shit on other.
Well, so I guess when I say I'm not shitting on their project. I'm just highlighting a major flaw that has been that's factual.
Shitting on them as people.
Right? Only Cardano. So
on their life choices.
with those news articles, I'm just highlighting facts that has already been reported and pointing out that it's not too late to join the winning team. So possibly it wasn't accurate when I say like I'm shitting on the project. I'm highlighting someone else that has been shitting on the project and saying, come over to the winning team. It's nice over here. It's real nice. It's enjoyable. It's comfortable. We've got everything we need. You can join the winning team at any time, literally any time. Just come on over.
I think in part, and also we've as Hexicans, we've copped a lot of crap. We've heard a lot of people speak negatively about our, the Hex contract, and I think to some extent, like there's a little bit of defensive, like we just go into that defensive mode, and we probably shouldn't. And sometimes a part of our defense is to attack. And when there's sometimes there's low hanging fruit, which I think like ADA is low hanging fruit. Now that doesn't mean that I don't know anything about ADA, man. I really know nothing about it. Very little at all.
Yeah, but there's not much to know, man.
It just seems like there's low hanging fruit there.
Yeah. Abra is right though. Like if we come across as toxic, you're not going to. People aren't going to want to join your community.
That's true.
You got to it's a fun joke, but you got to. And I think most of this it's joking. It's not real hate against a project or anything like that.
But you know what? I think most of
shake a Cardano person's hand. I would still shake their hand.
I think most of my.
I've met Ripple guys in nightclubs and stuff, and we chat about crypto. Like it's Trump. I mean, I tell them that their project's garbage, and I tell them why. but like there's no.
I would still feel like I have more in common with like anyone who's in crypto, no matter what, than just some other random person on the street. Like I would automatically feel like to some extent we're a kindred spirit because they're in crypto, So I think we could probably realistically we probably could like tone it down a bit, when we. But you were just joking. You were joking around, man. You were having fun. So I mean, that's
But also, I think most of our onboarding happens outside of the crypto sphere. To be honest, like the most people that I'm talking to now, and the most people that I've onboarded have been people who are outside and just teaching them about crypto and getting them into it.
Actually, I think I've heard a lot of Hexicans say that most of their onboardings, more often than not, it's actually total no coiners rather than people who are already within crypto.
Yeah,
it's quite weird. That's
or if like I went on a couple of YouTube channels and the people who have come from there, like, and those other YouTube channels were not crypto at all. Like one was a geopolitics one, and one was Martin North's whatever financial one. Like people came from those ones, but that's like it's much easier to get people outside the crypto sphere, because people who are already into the crypto sphere, they're like, well, first of all, a lot of them are gamblers, and second of all, like they're just they're tied to their bags to a large extent.
Well, we all are, man. Everyone. Yeah, it does make you tribal when your financial gain or well-being. No,
that's right. We're the same way to an extent, you know. I think we have a level of self-awareness, so I don't know. I think we have a
behind HEX, mate. That is the whole philosophy behind HEX. Because you're holding that bag for a long time, that you're going to be committed to it. That's the whole thing behind it. Shout out to Alan Mayor for the super chat, $5. If you end up debating RH Tangent, just remember that the accent might trigger him. Alex Flanders, so be careful.
And just
we will
straight into kill mode, like.
We will ask, where did Tangent go?
I actually think I've given enough time for Maxis to step up. I tagged them all in that tweet. I think I've given them enough time to contact me if they were going to do it. So I think it's time to lay it down, like realistically. I was going to ask you guys, do you think there are any coins that Richard is sitting with a big F-off bag of, waiting to just like crush that, like just absolutely just dump the shit out of the price of their coin? Like at some point, because mate, I would do that with Ripple so hard. I would do that if I had a big bag of Ripple gifted to me. I would literally wait until someone tweets something that annoys me from the Ripple army, and I'd be like, "Nuke time, bye, goodbye, price."
If it was anything other than an ETH asset, possibly, but if it's an ETH asset, he'll be bringing.
He's already sold them. Hey, like I think the ETH ones, he's already sold them into USDC. He said that he sold a lot of shit.
There's a lot of DAI as well.
Yeah.
So wait, what were you saying, Jexa? You reckon non-ETH
I thought you would dump ETH assets, ERC20s you might want to bring across and bridge across and provide liquidity, possibly. Is that a good example? Don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Robert Online for the super chat. Best
thumbnail everyone hitting it hard.
Awesome.
You guys are awesome nuts. Tonight. This is nuts. I don't think we've ever had such relentless super chatting.
No, it's
is it the LV top? It just the money just grabs it, like it
draws. Money attracts money, man.
I'm manifesting that lifestyle, yo. Like you know those fake like Forex influencers and shit like that. They're like taking photos in like Bugattis they don't own, like renting out Airbnbs, like wearing fake LV shit, taking photos of like in like Bali lodges with like swimming pools and shit like that, even though it only costs like $100 a night. Yeah. Someone like CoffeeZilla, like or someone like Richard Hart, like when you know so much about scams and how they work, like I'm convinced that any one of us, if we went down that path, which I never would, you could so easily, like I could present myself as a crypto guru and do that, like have an Insta feed that's just like, makes it look like, I can teach you how to make mad gains. And then like, I say the opposite to my friends. I'm like, look, I will never take your money, because people ask me either to pay for my help or to ask me to manage their shit for them. And I say no to both. I'm like, I'll help you on your crypto journey free of charge, but I never manage other people's money because it's a fucking headache. And I don't want to be, and I don't want to be responsible. And I don't want you to get upset at me if the shit goes down.
I have the exact same.
I've got zero. Yeah.
Exactly the same as you. I don't like with my friends and stuff and family. Obviously,
like
no
happy to
money.
assist them free of charge, but exactly.
Yeah. I'm not managing it for you, but I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll spend time with you on the phone, or even like we meet up and get it done.
That's exactly where I'm at, man. I don't think that'll ever change for me.
Super chat from Jim Rat Crypto. It's the LV top.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. Let's give a shout out to Jim Rat Crypto's fitness challenge that he's doing at the moment. It's a 90-day fitness challenge, which has been organised by himself and is it Sam? Someone help me, please.
Sam. I think it's
Stolt.
Sam Stolt. That's it. Is that something
What's that?
you can't? It's a fitness challenge while you're hiking in the jungle.
What's Sam Stolt?
His co-host.
He's
streamer. It's Jim Rat's co-host.
But you have been in the jungle for a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
JFK with another $5.
So hang on, what's the challenge?
It's 90 days of
to try to get
eating
back,
better and working out.
To try to get back to your peak physical form from wherever was your peak physical form in your life, to try and get back to that level. Not beat it, just to get back to it. Obviously, that's
where you felt good. Like where
that's variably difficult for people. If your peak physical form was when you were like 25 and now you're like 60, then that's much harder than if it was like 6 weeks ago. Like Doza said, his photo was like from very recently, so it makes it quite easy. Like, I don't want to say easy, but
if you're over that hill like me, it's
okay. So what it's about is it's being your best self. So we're in crypto to try and improve our financial wealth and the fitness side of things that these guys are doing, which is really good to see them engaging with the community and doing this sort of stuff. I reckon it's awesome.
Jimrat was telling me though that some people are trying to game the system by deliberately getting unfit first, so that the difference between their before and after photos is more extreme. And I'm like,
bro, I've been doing that for 10 years just for this challenge. Just for this challenge, hey?
So what, you take a picture at the start and then
you do before and after. Yeah, so you first of all, it's like the photo of you. It was like the first one is the photo of you when was the time that you were happiest with your physical appearance, and then you do a before and after photo for the challenge as well. The intro video that they made is epic. That like they've got an intro video. I wish we could play it.
We can play it.
Epic.
We can play it. Let me just read this out.
Do you know where it's at though?
LV Top is making the super chat so hot. So just imagine the untapped potential if you buy a couple of $1 million of Rolexes for flexing. You could do that, bro. You could do that.
I've got some other things on my hit list before I start buying Rolexes, though. There's some things I want before Rollies.
Where is that video? Let me.
Casio.
I've got it. I've got a gold Casio. I've got a gold Casio.
Yeah. Is it one of the calculator ones so you can add up all your stakes and stuff?
No. But it is from that era. It's like one of those 80s. It's like the one where it's like got a tiny little LCD screen, like the OG LCD screen. It's like no color, just gray and black. Like it's like that. You can get them off Amazon. They're actually not that expensive, but they look so cool. They look so retro. I've got thin wrists, so watches like that actually look quite good. You know what I mean?
Make you look like you got.
I need the watch head. I need the watch head to not be ridiculously large, otherwise it just looks stupid. So I
do you reckon that works? If I wear really small clothes, will I look bigger?
Well, actually, technically, yeah.
Like, pretty much, yeah.
That's like. I think it's actually always most important for things to fit well. That's always going to look the best. But then, like, optical illusions do work. Like, horizontal stripes will make you look bigger. Vertical will make you look thinner. Tight clothes will actually make you look bigger because sort of. It depends how badly. It depends how bad the fit is.
How tight, yeah.
Does anyone know? You have that video of that you're talking about, Tangent. If you can flick that across.
Sorry, I don't have it. Like, Jimrat just plays it when I'm on his stream. So.
Oh right, okay. Do we know what it is?
So it might be on Jimrat's Twitter.
Yeah.
Jimrat, if you can DM 43OG that video.
He's posted his status in his Twitter status.
See.
Is that it? Is it?
Yep.
I mean, I like this sort of stuff because it's like encouraging people to be healthy in a way that's not necessarily native to crypto. Yeah.
yeah. Like just staring at a.
I mean, look, we all like eating. We all like eating ham. We all like driving around in Lambos. There's things that that we share
We
as
all like eating ham.
common enjoyment. I mean, even the Cardano holders enjoy eating ham. It's just that they can't at the moment. But I think encouraging fitness and health is really important.
Okay, let me see if I can get this up.
Get it?
I hope this is the right video.
Let's go.
HEX.
That was starting again. It was replaying from the start, I think.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, how good is that beat?
Dude, well done, guys. That's fantastic. When does it start?
Started.
I didn't quite catch the date.
It
started already.
I get confused with the time zones, but I think it's 2 days it's been running now. It's a bit weird when it first started.
And so, like 4 times a week, you do. So do they actually give you the session to do? Like they give you what to do? Or
so in the app it tells you your tasks you've got to do, and then there's instructions on some of the exercises and things like that. It's pretty cool. They've done a good job. They put a lot of work into it.
So there's an app. Yeah. There's an actual app.
Yep. Oh, I mean, there's an app, man. Yeah. So you had to sign up and you download the app. Yeah.
Shit, I just realized, my bad. Jexa, earlier in the stream when you asked me to post my channel, I went to do it and then I got distracted, so I never actually did it. But
I think day 43.
Am I able to even put links in the chat? I don't think I can. Or did you do it for me, day 43? Thanks, man.
Yeah, you had up on
what screen. Was that? I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you put tangents. You put someone did. Someone put tangents thing up.
Someone put my channel in there. It's just HEX_tangent is the channel name.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Lagai just posted a YouTube link. How does that happen?
What's that?
I don't know. I think it's just the challenge, the fitness challenge thing.
Because normally you can't put. Normally you can't do that, right? Like
he's got a spanner.
Only admins. Is he admin?
So, yeah.
Oh, he's admin.
He's got a spanner on his name. Yeah.
You're talking about this one. Your YouTube address. So, Tangent. Your YouTube subscribers came back.
Yeah, man. After about like a day and a bit. So I was there bitching and moaning about, So
basically, the YouTube team watches your stream then. They heard you bitching and moaning.
I think I always suspected that it might not come back straight away. That it might take time for it to reactivate its shit. And so I was hoping that was the case, because I almost had 2K subscribers, which I know that doesn't sound like that much, but it took a long time to get there. And the idea, so I was just trying to stay positive, and then I was literally on stream and I went to look and they were all back. And I was like, hell yes.
So JFK666 has realized for a measly $5, he can trash people on stream. So Tangent's thin wrists require regular RH fingering exercise routine to build them up. Then you'll fit the Rolexes. Then come the big super chats.
Is he talking about the Richard Hart hand injury? Just strengthen those wrists, son. Yes. Oh, bro, that is a killer comment. Holy shit.
Hey guys, we've been going for 2 hours and 10 minutes, right? And it's been awesome. Do you want to keep going?
Or do you want to quickly do? We can do the guest. What do we call that when we guess the thing?
Did you guys do the? Yeah.
Oh, bitch tits.
It's going to be pretty small. Very few people vote. I do it every week. I
Go.
forgot to give you the link, didn't I? There we go. All right. Pretty poor turnout in the voting this week, I've got to say. Let's face it, half the people on stream make up half the voters, and I didn't even vote. So.
The guy who runs it didn't vote.
So it's been a pretty poor show all around.
Tangent right up there, mate.
Yeah, Tangent was in there with a shot, but Tin Top's taking it out this week. I think there's
again.
He's a pretty regular winner. I reckon he's just Pip Dawser.
Did Tin Top win last week as well? Tin Top.
He was a joint winner. Oh, was that Ash? Might have been Ash.
Oh, was it Ash?
Could have been Ash. Yeah.
Can you guys confirm who won last week? Was it? I should know that, but
yeah, I think it was Par Excellence and Ash. I think.
And Ash. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. This week,
congratulations.
Let's get the link out. Have you got the link there to push out again? Dave?
Yeah, I do.
www.
Yeah. I'm going to write it in there.
So make sure you go put your votes in, peeps. Where are we going to be next week?
Go to that website and vote on what you think the price is going to be in a week's time. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because we've been hovering down on that 11 to sort of 13 cent mark for quite a while. But on the back of that tweet from Rackham, do we think we're going to pump past that 20 cent mark in a week?
Why not?
We've got that tweet. We've got that tweet, and we've got possibly a launch in a couple of weeks. Possibly, who knows? We haven't talked about the likelihoods of that yet, but that's bubbling away in the background.
Yeah, so guys, go to www.titbit.ch and go vote for what you think the price is going to be next week. And then you could potentially be bitch tits of the week, just like Tin Top. And look, contrary to what you might believe, being bitch tits of the week is an absolute honor on the Hex Late Show. An absolute honor. You should be so lucky to be bitch tits. You should be so lucky.
I'm going to give myself the win on that one. I was so close there. I'm just giving myself the win.
You're taking the on-stream win.
Bitch tits are allowed to do that.
It's disappointing to be that close. Was I the second closest to the correct guess? Yeah. Damn,
yep. You're pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Guys, let's. I think we're going to wind it up. It's been an awesome stream. Yep. Appreciate all of you. Last words, Tangent.
I'm actually in the process of drafting a tweet to challenge Richard to a debate. So go and look at my Twitter in about 5 or 10 minutes and help me draw Richard's attention to this tweet so we can set the record straight. There are things that I want to challenge Richard on, and I know that it will be worth your time to both get his attention for it to make it happen and to watch it when it does happen. Believe me, shit will be real. Like, it's going to be really real.
I didn't literally mean your last word.
Oh, yeah.
The last word.
Before he enters the
den. Good call, man. Holy shit, there have been so many good calls on this stream. Yeah, literal last words. Could be.
I cannot wait to see Tangent enter the den. That's going to be the meeting.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm going to be asking him to do it after PulseChain launch so that it doesn't delay PulseChain. Everyone happy after PulseChain. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
That will be so entertaining, man. That will be just the height of entertainment. I've
got some shit that you guys like. I think you guys.
You've been prepping, have you? You've been
mate. Literally for the last 3 weeks, it's been the thing I've spent the most time on.
Right. You got a PowerPoint slide deck and stuff.
Nah, just a script. I mean, I've got some graphics I could show, but I don't think Richard really rolls like that. Like, have you ever seen people bringing up data? I mean, I think.
Well, Richard was holding up. He was holding up sheets of paper with graphs on them.
Maybe I'll
they
use
weren't very
his
effective
technique.
though.
Maybe I'll use his technique of just printing some shit out because it's hard. Like to. Also, people can just fact check me. Like, if I just say shit that I know is accurate, people can go and fact check me afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
Jessica?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyone
Well,
else want to sign? Anyone else want to sign off?
No, thanks for everyone for tuning in. It was, good. A lot of people watching live, and always the chat was pretty vibrant tonight, and a lot of super chats. So thanks a lot for that. Let's hope we get a double very soon. Hey, a couple of weeks we might be rocking and rolling.
Absolutely.
Fingers
thanks,
crossed.
guys. You guys are awesome, and everyone in the chat, I love you all. You guys are what make this worthwhile for us. Like for me, especially, I love reading all your comments, and your contributions tonight have been fantastic. I really wasn't expecting them. So look, take care of yourself and of yourselves, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Cheers, guys.
Everyone.